living alone in the wilderness as the Olympic Games for survival. Many capable players have emerged. Roland, who shoots cows with a knife. It's a well-deserved Nambovan. The second is Jordan, who pulled a bow and shot 350 kilograms of moose. The first two great gods have already talked about their plunder. In this video of the Crown Road, we will talk about Season 8 winner Clay. Personally, I think he is more capable than Jordan. The record is a mini version of Roland. Not only because he has also successfully hunted large animals, he has lived alone ever since. The player who clashed with the grizzly at the closest distance, whether it's building shelters, build a food pantry, and the freely retractable thorn to the Warren system, and his swordsmanship of piercing young with 100 steps. Well deserved. He's a pretty good survivor. Clay had 10 years of wilderness experience. Shot to death in his hometown of Ida River State. All large animals? I usually post some relevant videos online. Joining the challenge is to pay off the mortgage with the bonus. By the way, test your survival skills. The program team also gave him a picture on the first day. That's when Clay found a beast well on the ridge. And there's a fork that goes down. This time out, he just wanted to see the environment. Not attached to. Be sure to hunt some animals back. But it started off very lucky. Passing through a land full of bolitas. Harvest the first food since the challenge. I wanted to explore my surroundings. Now I have to switch to acquisition mode. Remove all the porcini you see. Packed in a coat. There are 20 or 30 flowers in total. Mushrooms alone can't make a big meal. Clay continues to wander in the woods. Just a few minutes. He saw a grouse on the ground. He immediately drew his bow full and shot it with an arrow. The result did not disappoint him and the audience. Rely entirely on yourself. Has obtained food in the wild. Clay's swordsmanship can still be steadily developed. Almost at the same time as Gong Xiansheng fell, the grouse also fell to the ground with an arrow. Come to the lake and take care of the prey. It was a good trip. Just right for a delicious chicken and mushroom stew. The challenge location is in the Lake Kyoko region of Canada. It's called the Land of the Grizzly Bears. Clay didn't want to cook at the campfire. Choose to locate the kitchen away from the shelter. So as not to provoke the grizzly bear, create unnecessary threats. Just as his house was waiting for the big meal to come out. Something you turn around and see. I almost gave him a cold sweat. Only 40 meters away, there's a municipal of America staring at him. This guy is strong enough to kill an adult male. If it was someone else, he might just sit there and not move. But Clay went straight for him. He wanted to drive America into the tree so he could kill him. It's a pity that America didn't follow his routine. Clay regretted not having brought his bow and arrow with him. Otherwise, it must be certain at the sight of the past. If you can start the challenge this way, the first day alone in the wilderness, there are probably 100 people here who remember him. After nightfall, it began to rain heavily. Fortunately, Clay's temporary home is big enough. Let him get away with it. Experienced the baptism of this wind and rain. When the weather improves, he threw himself into the construction of long-term housing. It just takes a lot of energy. Wilderness survival requires professionals. The same goes for home renovations. The province saves the flowers. If you need to turn around, you can try the rest assured loan in Douyin wallet. Clay has to get some decent food before construction starts. On the second day of the race, he made himself a fishing rod. Before dawn, I came to the lake penalty station. I don't know how much time has passed. The day is completely bright before a fish bites the hook. Clay took the opportunity to turn hard to the shore. No decoupling and no disconnection. He successfully caught his first fish of the season. It was a 2-catty red taranfish. Bottle cap and pink loose rope for the right ear. It's the simplest combination. Miracle produced. With the energy provided by this fish and those bolitas, Clay let go of his hands and feet to build housing. Self-propelled roof truss of several logs. Fix that tarpaulin. When the roof and the front and rear sides of the walls are made of logs, Build an oversized fireplace with 10 more blocks. The logs above the fireplace to peel off the skin in advance. Do fire protection. It's safer to apply another layer of silt. Fill the gaps with moss. The interior space is large enough. The smoke exhaust effect of the fireplace is also very good. It doesn't take too much time and effort. Permanent residence is done. There's still half of the red tarantfish I caught. Clay's oversized panties are in this situation. Comes in handy. Tie both trouser legs tightly. Pack the remaining half of the fish in it. Hanging in the air with a rope. The possibility of being stolen by other animals will be minimized. He knows what his body is going through. You have to get food that lasts for a long time. That is, only a large animal has a chance to camp. Although there are grizzly bears everywhere in this area. But local laws do not allow hunting them. Cougars can. But that guy is elusive. Only black-tailed deer and white-tailed deer are hunted. More practical. Clay locked onto an open bush slope. I think there is a good chance of a road appearing there. He travels long distances in search of prey. It's a big gamble. If you gain something, you can gain an advantage. Otherwise, it will speed up his exit from the game. Clay was dumbfounded when he walked up to that slope. This is a burning forest. Fallen trees trudge across it. Extremely strenuous, not to mention. It is also likely to cause mechanical damage from a fall. Affect the game. He walked around without seeing any scenery. After a short rest, he went home. There's a lot of grizzly poop on the ground along the way. There are also paw prints marking territory on the tree. And Clay was walking, he was walking. I heard movement in the bushes next to me. It turned out to be a grizzly bear. The guy was no more than 10 meters away from him, hiding behind the willow tree pointed to by his finger. Fortunately, he has been scared away. Wild deer not found. Instead, I almost got into a grizzly bear face. It's a bit unlucky. Clay's running out of food. He had the idea of those berries on the grass. Began to concentrate on collecting berries. I scraped everything I could find. A full 4 liters were collected. It's not cold enough yet. If stored directly, it will deteriorate within a few days. He walked down to the lower stream. Because the cold air will sink. It'll be cooler there. Clay dug a hole in the western clearing. Stick planks all around. The bottom layer of lichen is separated from the soil. The collected blueberries, cranberries and vinegar grains are stored inside. Thinking that even if you can't get meat to eat, these berries can also pad your stomach to some extent. Day 17 of the competition. Clay decided to try harder at fishing. Before, he unhooked the fish and ran away several times while fishing. Have learned enough lessons. He's going to do a copy of the net today. The material is 7 wood branches and loose rope, new rope. Clay doesn't know when. Made a shuttle for weaving nets. I'm busy until 10 o'clock and I'll be done copying the net. I have to say his handwork is really good. It's almost as if it's just made from store-bought. Come to the location where the advance is better. It's deeper. It stands to reason that the chance of catching fish is also higher. It turned out to be a coincidence. In the past, when the coal copying network was still decoupled, now there is a copy net, but there is no one who bites the hook. He stood on a rock for 2 or 3 hours. Since you can't catch fish, Clay simply switched back to hunting mode. Went out in search of animals with bows and arrows. This time he went further. Came to a forest that had never been seen before. Calm down and observe. He finally saw the feces with roads on the ground. This is the first time since the challenge. It's getting late, even if you shoot the road. Can't be processed and shipped back to camp before dark, in order not to alarm the snake. Clay turned back to camp and memorized the route. The next day at noon he packed up and set off. To keep the jacket from scratching the branches, make unnecessary noises, he put his cotton shirt on the outside. Come to the place where the road excrement was found yesterday. After a whole night, Clay saw more fresh feces. There's no question about it. The active area of this wooded city road. He kept his voice to a minimum, searching around bit by bit. I saw the stones in the stone pool. Clay and a male black-tailed road of sight collide. He dared not make extra movements for fear of scaring the other party. When the deer opens its eyes and continues to chew on the grass, he immediately puts down his handheld camera and pulls out a cocoon. Shoot at the black-tailed deer. No suspense. Clay's target, fearing that the other party would get hurt and run wild. He dared not approach the past rashly. After a few minutes, Clay came to the spot where the deer was injured, see blood on the grass, and the broken cocoon stained with blood. In a turn, the black-tailed deer collapsed on the grass next to it, abandoned. It happened too suddenly. He couldn't even believe it was real. This deer weighs 60 kilos. Clay. Shout out often to release the pressure in your heart. There are grizzly bears everywhere. He has to get rid of the deer as soon as possible. Return to camp. Time is tight. Task is heavy. Don't worry about being afraid of wolves before being afraid of tigers. And Clay was carrying his severed legs. Headed to the camp. The location of the sand road is 4 kilometers away from the camp. He doesn't get any breaks. Breathing and panting back and forth between the two places. Finally, at 5:30 p.m., move all the meat back to camp. In an instant, all stress is gone. Catching a fish can give you a day or two head start. And this deer provides about 23 kilograms of pure meat. Enough to lead the other players by a month. Clay excitedly tapped various parts. It's getting dark. It's not safe to put meat directly in the shelter. The program team took into account the poisoning of grizzly bears here, so the players are equipped with an extra one. Heavy rope for hanging meat. Clay uses this rope, hanging venison in the air far from the shelter. As for tonight's dinner, it's the liu and ludin in the pot. To this day, he has not eaten meat for half a month. Nike when fried road heart goes into your mouth. You can imagine how wonderful the taste will be. Taste buds sense the presence of fat and protein. Clay is so delicious that he calls Omega King Dua. That's all there is to it. Inject enough energy into your body to maintain the following activities. The next day, check the meat hanging in the air, neither visited by grizzly bears nor attracted flies. Clay must hurry up and build the smokehouse, because this is not the North Pole where Roland lives. The temperature is so low that it can be preserved without treatment. He plans to build a wooden house. That's enough for both. The interior space is also large enough. There is no guarantee that it will stop the black bear, but at least before the other party succeeds, let Clay hear the movement, make a drive, falling logs in all directions. After fangs lay, run the wire through the gaps and use it as a lanyard. The roofs are covered with logs and then covered with rows. The rest of the processing is much easier. And Clay cut all the venison into slices and strips. A few legs were quickly kicked clean. The meat is hung on wire ropes in the house. The size is perfect, just enough to hold all the venison. Nike waiting for the smoke to rise. Clay can breathe a sigh of relief. Just wait for a bowl. Smoke and dehydration will be completed tomorrow morning. Store properly. It is no problem to maintain it for a month or two without deterioration. That deer head has a corresponding use. Clay wants to make a cow-ear cap out of the scalp. Wear it. Maybe you can get closer to your prey in the future. After peeling off the deer's scalp intact, use a knife to scrape off the meat residue from it, fat and cartilage, to prevent decay. Then sew the eyes and mouth with thread. Fill it with moss. A handcrafted right ear is complete. And finally, the soft piece of leather. Clay dug up all the brain flowers. The brains of animals contain lecithin. It's a natural grease. Clay smashed up the brain flour he dug up. Apply it evenly to the deerskin. Let them function quietly. Thinking about finishing the deerskin, the backrest for sitting on a chair. The challenge comes to day 31 at 2:30 in the morning. Clay was awakened by a noise outside. He opened the door, looked out, saw nothing. I speculate that the other party may have been scared away. He was at the camp after dawn. Look around for the tracks left by the uninvited guest. As a result, I saw the footprints left by the grizzly bear by the lake. Clay is concerned that the food pantry is being targeted by grizzly bears. I walked over and saw footprints in the snow. Again, moving back and forth between pantries and shelters to protect the precious venison. Clay tied the whistle to the tree. Fix a steel wire ring below. Circle the pantry with umbrella rope. When half the rope as long as a grizzly bear hits the rope, the enemy will make a sound, even if you don't run. That guy can also wake up the guests. The total amount of smoked venison is not very large. Quantitative allocation is required. Only eat Clay every day, holding such a big piece in my hand, not enough to provide full power. Therefore, access to other foods cannot be neglected. He still has to go fishing at the lake, just somehow. Clay since catching his first fish of the season. I've had really bad luck with that. This time it was a few hours without movement. After that, several fishing trips were also unsuccessful and almost ran into a grizzly bear patrolling the lake. Fortunately, Clay is quick-witted. Climb up the tree to avoid disaster. The time has come to day 35. He took the deerskin, tied to the frame of a wooden chair as a backrest, holding the cup made on the second day of the challenge, drinking Yunshan tea and looking at the scenery of the northern country. I didn't enjoy the pleasant time for long. Clay saw a grizzly bear walking around on the beach. When he returned to the sanctuary with his bow and arrow, the grizzly bear has crawled into the woods. He hated it when he was hanging around his camp, because once food is found, it may be off an optics valley. So Clay followed the grizzly bear's footprints. Want to drive away. Just as he was looking around for the grizzly bear, I didn't expect it. The guy has rushed behind the tree 5 meters away. Inertia. Clay pulls out the bear spray in time. Scared it away at the last minute. Otherwise, into seconds of late discovery. It could be the result of the whole village eating. Clay's little heart was pounding afterwards. I have been fighting wilderness for 10 years and have traveled through thousands of rivers and mountains. I have never encountered a beast so close. However, through this room, the grizzly bear must not dare to take it lightly. Near his camp, well-crafted super nets have been useless. Clay doesn't have much confidence in fishing either. He simply stuffed it with moss and beat himself. As for practicing swords every day in leisure, maybe you can shoot a black-tailed deer. Today is the 45th day of the challenge. According to the rules of the program team, runners can start using second king fishing. Now the climate is getting colder. Fish are swimming to warm deep water. The next king wants to catch fish. You have to put it in the water as deep as possible. Clay joins the two logs. Tie a piece of wood to make a tripod. There is a ring on the top of the shelf. Secure a pillar near the lake. There is also a wire ring on the top. There is a rubble in the lake attached to the buoy. There's a ring on the buoy. Tie the secondary net to a long umbrella rope through 3 steel wire rings to form a circle. By pulling this circle, you can stand on the shore and put the secondary net. It stands to reason that such a good arrangement method, it should be harvested well. You can catch nothing for 3 days. Did not live up to Clay's expectations. In contrast, competitor Colt, basically starving in the early stage. Wait until you can put the net again. He set the net farther out in the lake with his boat. Caught to fish in one go. Finally, the hard work. Enjoyed a long-lost meal. And Clay wasn't obsessed with fishing. Turned around and went to the forest to collect matsutake mushrooms. This rare mushroom, the price is very high, but still can't stop his Dubai knife skills. Because Clay is on this ridge alone. I found 2 or 3 catties. The time has come to 57 days. The temperature has dropped again. Now Clay every morning? It takes 10 minutes to get dressed. The waves in the lake are heavy today. There was an accident while recycling the secondary network, like something hanging from the bottom of the water. It took him a lot of effort to drag the net up. Although I caught a red tarantfish this time. Provides about 2,500 calories quantity. But that web has been entangled into a ball. The resources at this location are simply terrible. Clay found a new place. Put the secondary net and the whole set of pulleys. The playback system has been moved. Then he went back to the forest in search of Songji. I didn't expect to see a lump of fresh American manure. He thinks he might have just arrived. The one I bumped into. I wanted to see if I could find any traces of the big cat. If you can successfully shoot, that will be your lifetime achievement. It just so happens that local laws allow for the hunting of cougars. Clay took deerskins as a steward. Generator blowing. Can make a cry similar to a hare's dying struggle. Hopefully this sound will attract cougars. The next day, before dawn, he grabbed his bow and arrow and went out the door. Planned to trap the cougar. Unexpectedly on the way, he sees grizzly tracks in the snow. Since the last time the grizzly was scared away. This is my first time at camp. Bare footprints appear near the ground. The nearest footprint is only 7 meters away from the shelter. Clay had to cancel his plan to trap the cougar because he didn't want to imitate the rabbit call. Attracted momentum. Grizzly bears weighing 200 or 300 kilograms. Fortunately, there wasn't much venison left. Just put it in your underwear and hang it on the tree. No need to go to great lengths to protect. Now his main focus is on that subnet. He moved to a new place for netizens a few days ago. So far, Clay's weight has dropped by 20% since the first day. He desperately needs to get fat from fish. Maintain weight, but the net is not awesome. The location has been changed several times. I don't know if it will work in deep water. Only one fish has been caught in more than 20 days, and every time you collect it, that web is all tangled up. It takes a lot of time and patience to straighten out. Clay thought he was completely unproductive. On the contrary, it also destroys its own relationship. There's no need to think about it anymore. From now on he will use traps and bows and arrows. Clay is where Snow Rabbit passed by. Arrange the lower wire tower. Mark the position with pink umbrella rope. The venison has been gone for almost a week. He can play anytime now. I can't wait to put that black-tailed deer, eat it clean from start to finish, instead of kneading the brain flour into the leather. After waiting all night, it's an exciting time to check the trap. Here's the good news. There are many traces of snow rabbits running in the forest. The bad news is that the first trap was not punished. I don't know if the rabbit bypassed or got through. Just as Clay was getting discouraged, the second trap checked caught the rabbit for him. He said sincerely, "Thank God." There's another one in the remaining trap. Caught a white blood rabbit for him. I'm really lucky today. I had no idea about these traps, but unexpectedly harvested 2 rabbits. Clay once again has the confidence to win the championship. That night, he cooked himself a pot of delicious rabbit meat. The heat is just right to separate the flesh and blood without losing chewiness, tasting delicious and juicy firewood without getting tired. Under the blessing of hunger, even sucking bamboo shoots and rabbit eyeballs is a kind of enjoyment. Come to 10:30 p.m., Clay heard the super net placed outside the house was knocked down by some animal. He immediately pushed open the door to check. I looked around and saw that it was a fish. This guy is a fierce predator. There are no natural enemies in nature, and it is protected by local laws from hunting and killing. Clay just chased him away thinking he'd be fine. As a result, I went to check the trap after dawn. Flax froze on the spot. I saw the footprints of the fish in the snow. Follow Clay's footsteps to the traps. He realized that the other party was last night. Checked in advance. And so it is. Clay saw a pool of blood near a trap. Apparently it was left behind when the fish carving took the rabbit. That's a big problem. There's nothing I can do about that fish carving. After he got cheap, come and steal the prey every night. Then aren't you busy? The 71st day of the challenge is Thanksgiving. Clay lay in the dwelling field with tears streaming first, surviving in trouble and missing loved ones. He couldn't help but shed sad tears. I can't help but press the quit button. The time has come to day 73. The last competitor, Bick, withdrew. In the last few months, he ate wild onions. Drink the bark weak impact until today. The body really can't bear to retire. program team, or use the medical examination as a reason to notify Clay. When told he was the champion, immediately pack your things and go home. I can only cry with joy for words to describe how he felt at that time. Since then, the 8th season of living alone in the wilderness has ended successfully.